Hello, hello. This is Coach K. Good to see all of you passionaires on our live. Well, it's not a live channel anymore, but hey, still live because we are alive. If you are a passionaire, you thrive on who you are, very unique you, but more importantly, how to really find across the aisle to build togetherness. That's really a tall order, but this is where we love to have a slogan say, be fearless you, yet live happily together. So, hey, do you remember the first major fight in any relationship? Say in a boy girlfriend relationship, in a marriage, in a parent situation, the first fight, the major fight. I'm not saying fight, just like yeah. After all the romance kind of started, and boom, there's one day, it's a major fight, just like erupt and like a volcano. Have you been there? I've been there. I've been married for 28 years, and the first time I and my now wife had a big fight, big, huge fight, was when we were preparing for our wedding. So preparation for wedding is definitely a test, okay? And we had a big fight, the first major fight, and the end of the fight is she has to leave my room. I don't want her to come in, and she doesn't want to come in. So it's the first major big fight. And many years later, I start to understand my fight. Okay, I can put a PQ or passion language around it. It's a high power and soft power fight. All right, she doesn't want to say the word. I only need her to spill out one word so I can process it. That's it. And then we couldn't really reach agreement. So we both fiercely be me, but we couldn't really find out how to live happily together. So today we're going to watch a couple. They just got married. This is married at first sight. A couple just married. Couple, of course, you can watch the show yourself. I encourage you to do that. But I want to walk you with their first ever big fight. Hopefully, you can come back. Well, we'll analyze it, but walk together through this together. So let's watch this together.
I woke up this morning and Zach is not here. He left the apartment without informing me of anything. No text message to my phone, no phone calls, no sticky note on the door.
All right. So the wife woke up and to just find out the husband gone without any notice, right? And her reaction, you just saw it, it's just so emotional, right? I mean, I don't know why it's recorded, but I guess it's just there watching. So I'll be honest with you guys, like sometimes in our first fight, if you can record it, yeah, security camera, whatever that is, but hey, I really think if you and I can sit down and really record our first major fight in relationship, that's a gold mine. That's actually tell almost everything down the road for 28 years what could be there for 28 years in my case. And I want you to know they are locking away. It's recorded so we can kind of see what happened. She was very emotional right away. She picked up her stuff and walk out.
He didn't answer my phone call, answer my text message, respond to me. And so I'm out.
All right, so
Okay, everything good?
so she head out. Okay, now so what the story actually coming down to? I give you the background. They just got married. The guy stepped out without leaving a sticky note, cell phone message, and she was very very upset. Okay, so now this is a moment. Who is right? Who is wrong? No, so in a relationship, when we use passion language, it's not right or wrong. A lot of time in this area, it's not a gray area. It's actually two different passions are working against and toward each other. So it's not right or wrong, different frequencies, different passion language talking. You can tell, she totally lost, right? And now they are sitting down, hopefully to talk about it. So I want you to watch this conversation, try to resolve this so-called on the 2 pages, or not the same page, 2 frequency we call it, or their passions are totally not satisfied. Both need a room for something to satisfy their passion, but they didn't get it. So this is a communication session between these two.
Fine.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at the body language. Now, okay. Now, if you start talking like this, you know it's not going to end very well, okay? This is like, you can see the body language. This is like not even an eye contact. I call this is like guessing game, okay? Both are guessing what happened, and both have something to say, but they didn't want to say it, okay? You can see lady on the left is Michaela, and she's definitely upset, but she didn't want to say, okay? Now, the husband name is Zach, and he has something to say too, so it must be something. Both didn't know. So this, I call it the guessing game, okay? So this one is interesting. It happened in all kind of relationship. Like, you sit down, you want to communicate, but like, who's going to show the bottom line first? You know, like, so it's kind of we'll watch how this get unfolded.
I'm back in the apartment with Zach because we have a meeting with Pastor Cal. I'm pretty upset. Zach did not communicate with me that he left or anything. So it's frustrating for him to say, "Are you okay?" when you know I'm not okay.
All right. It's frustrating when the husband asks her, "Are you okay?" She's more frustrated, like, how can you ask me, "Are you okay?" So basically, she meant you should have found out already. You did something that you don't even know. It's so frustrating to me that can you tell? Can you tell? Do you have a sound mind? Okay. Okay. And it's like, okay, yeah. So you should have figured me out already, okay? Gentlemen and my husband, you missed the whole thing. You see the body language, and husband's body language sitting there is like, man, I don't know what's happening, but you already gave me an attitude right now. I know something is brewing up. So you can see this kind of almost like Third World War, like start to, erupt or something. So I want you to watch this. She didn't feel okay, but look at the conversation.
Michaela.
You really want to know what's wrong?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So this morning, I wake up. I don't have my husband next to me, and so when I woke up in the early morning, and my husband wasn't next to me after 8 days of being apart.
The reason why I didn't sleep in the same bed as you is because I fell asleep. I just fell asleep.
You never communicated that.
I understand why you're mad, and I'm sorry, but there was a reason behind why I didn't wake you up, why I left. So I just want you to know it wasn't on purpose, okay?
It felt like it was intentional.
What was intentional?
All of it.
You think I did this on purpose? Okay, why do you think I did that?
Yeah,
All right, now become he said, she said, right? You can see the conversation. If you really want to figure out who is right, there's no way. There's no way, folks. They're on the totally different levels of talking. You can see the Zach as a husband, 8 days apart. He came back and got up early, had to leave early. According to him, he came back at 9 a.m., couldn't find the wife there, and he started to kind of get very weird feeling, right? According to the wife, Michaela, like, no, that's such a violation of the code in the house. So I want you to watch this, and it's just like, wow. I mean, what's going on here? I mean, if you want to sit down and be the counselor, marriage counselor, what you say? Okay, oh, both of you feel okay. No, I don't think feeling is important here. The feeling is real, but underneath the feeling, you could have a very good EQ, but underneath the EQ or emotional feeling about it, there's something that we have to resolve, like what's been driving them to act like this. That's very, very important. If we don't know that, that will come in any kind of situation, and that will be lifelong struggle. Okay, let's watch.
I think you made decisions on your own.
And you're good at that. And
I
I
told
find that
you I
both
was
endearing and
Hold
irritating.
on. A husband make decision on his own. Is that a good thing or bad thing? It could be good one day. It could be bad. If you have a husband making decision every time, couldn't make a decision, or if you have a husband like that, good luck to you. All right. So, but see, I mean, she started to become emotional again because this is like rock her boat as a wife. So there's something touched inside. It's not just the behavior, okay? And it's not just communication. It's something touched, rocked the bottom line, okay? And now she's escalating this to be another level.
Irritating.
You don't make decisions too? Everybody makes decisions.
I
in
do,
life.
I do. But it's like,
You left the
Zachary,
apartment.
like I'm in there waiting on you. What am I supposed to think? You give me such limited information that it's like, well, okay.
Okay, hold on.
Well, if you're gonna act in an independent way, then so should I.
Okay.
Wait, hold on.
You are acting you want to act independent. So Zach seems to be the Michaela side. He is keeping some secret or information that he's not communicating. So she said, you want to act independently from me? And so should I. Okay, that's interesting conversation. Let's see how the husband will respond.
Oh, you left today?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. You know what's funny though? Because you know, we actually talked about like how we would handle like the situation, like who would
not
leave.
funny. It's not funny.
It's funny as me. The rash decision to just leave the apartment because of something so simple as I left without saying bye. This is a red flag.
I took all my and I left. It's because of what you did. You never came back. You never came back.
I came back here at like 9:15. You were gone. Like I have to.
That's interesting. Now, if the conversation continues, I assure you, it's not going to end. I think he did come back. Okay, we can. I don't know. We have to check the security camera, right? And you know, and so he came back. Didn't see wife, so he probably start figure out something. Okay, so now they are start to accuse each other, like you abandoned me and all that. So this is going nowhere. But luckily, there's a doorbell. The doorbell rings.
Nope, I was not gone at 9:15. You were
Okay.
you were lying.
Okay, somebody just knocked the door.
We just had like a little argument.
All right. Now, it's a third party in the room. So this is crucial. I mean, I've been doing marriage PQ workshop for many couples. The major fight after, especially got married, moving together, and all that kind of situation. The first fight, I wish we have some recording capability to record the first fight because part of our PQ workshop is to actually help couples to walk through the first fight, major fight. As a coach, I enjoy the sideline view because and the couples start to learn to enjoy also sit back and replay and look at each other's how they have the narrative about the fight. Look at the husband side. Zach have a narrative about it. He says it's not. Okay, yeah, you watch. It's like a little fight. You see that?
Personal argument.
Personal
real argument.
Little
Yeah,
fight.
first real argument.
Welcome to marriage.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, our little argument changes nothing about how I feel about you, right? Like I still think you're an amazing woman. I think you're the most caring and loving girl I've been around, and so
Look at our eyes. Look at our face.
it's just
Folks,
a little bump in the road.
What he's trying to no. So this is where this two passions are totally. That's why we got to deep down into the passion level because look at the guy saying like, yeah, it's a personal fight. To me, it's not a big deal. I still have the same feeling toward you. Okay, it's really not a big deal. And look at that wife's face. It's like I've never seen it. Well, I've seen that kind of face a lot. It's like, boom. It's a Iron Man. Armor just sounds like, no. I'm hurt. This is big deal. Okay, I don't agree. Okay, here we go. Look at that.
And I don't know why you're making that face. And see, when you see, so,
I'm looking at that
okay,
too.
see, now it's getting like now it's gonna be
Interpret
really
that.
now it's gonna be really difficult. Okay, so
Okay. And no, but hold on, no,
see, all right,
but no, I want you to stop for a second. Interpret what that's all about. What's the squint for?
There is a guard. I'm sorry. There is a guard up.
All right, now she starts to open up a little bit. There's a guard. Sorry. She keeps saying sorry. So this is thing get very interesting. She keeps saying sorry, sorry, but her facial expression, her body language, and I want you to know this is like, yeah. I mean, I don't think sorry can describe how she feel. So she says sorry, but there's something like if you don't touch that part, it's so this is where passion language is coming. So I want you to continue to watch that why the guard is up, why the facial expression and that emotional. She just like she has to leave to kind of pay back and just to have a sanctuary somewhere. Okay, let's watch.
So when you say these things, like they sound good, but
Okay, hold up. I'm sorry. From my perspective, all I did was fall asleep with my dog accidentally.
What did that mean to you?
It just means like you don't believe me and I'm not being genuine or something like that. Like even the way you're acting now.
I want to believe you. I want to trust you. When my dad died, I had to pretty much protect myself. Like, my dad always had my back. Now I have a husband, and I have to put my vulnerability in him. And so the idea of allowing myself to be washed over and led by another man is scary.
You felt abandoned when your dad.
All right. So, see, when that first fight is being replayed, this literal sense in this case, but now we have a third party, now it's a pastor sitting there. So they both sit down, start to communicate. Now she starts to open up, like why she has such a need or insecurity. You can call her insecure, right? You can call her emotional, but there's a root there. There's a root about, I think her father died. I don't know the detail. I don't know how old she was, but she just feel totally left alone when the one man in her life she counted on died and left, right? And then you can see now that reaction is actually coming from that wound or that hurt or that emotional history there. And look at her, she now starts to really open up, right? So let's continue to watch this.
Past. And you felt abandoned ever since.
My dad's gone forever. He was a good man.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Okay, now the husband sitting right next to her, and she's there. I hope you watch this and.
Let him be there for you, Michaela.
All right. So I want you to watch the last moment. No, the man is doing a good thing, but I want to come back to this. It's good to have the moment of this encounter, but it's not enough. Let me just emphasize one more time. A moment like this, the man is doing the right thing. A hug, just sit there. This is not enough, because we have to figure out what's going on here. In my analysis, or as a PQ coach, we have to come back to what's driving both of them. When she, Michaela, wife, feel abandoned when father suddenly dies, say, assume that's the case, what passion is being hurt or wound is not satisfied. And does that, I mean, if this happened early on in her childhood, it will cause more, I would call use our PQ term, more, not damage, but more suppression over that passion, or overextend that passion, so she has keep looking for that, right? So this could be the suppress, like, I don't want that passion anymore. It could be the family passion, okay? It could be saving, like, okay, suddenly, or overextended passion, because I don't have a dad now, I have to save and save and save, okay? Or I have to be interdependent to somebody. I have to find somebody always around me. And that's just huge. I've seen this in many couples, even when they were dating, it just like, one cannot have another outside for like 10 seconds, right? And it become a very, very weird pattern. So this is good. This man is doing a good thing, a hug and all that. But this one need actually to talk about it. a narrative, okay, to be able to not relieve it, but to be able to see what passion is being suppressed. That means I don't want this anymore. Or overextended, that means I want it all the time. I need it all the time. Without it, I'm dying. Okay, so that need to be figured out. Here we go. So now I'm watching this with PQ coaches. Okay, if you become certified coach, welcome to join me. All right, PQ coaches over there watching with me. Which one passion that Michaela, the wife, that you feel really, now she's opened up. This is a good thing. Don't take me wrong. This is a beautiful window of opportunity. So I want to make every major fight a window of opportunity so that we are able to not analyze it, but to be bold, to speak out, like not as a behavior, like you did this wrong, I did that right. It's like being, like inside me, what's really my drive in there, like being suppressed or overstated. There's one thing, Michaela, that she needed all the time to feel secure since her dad passed away. Which passion? Coaches, you can type, you can unmute yourself. Any thought? One passion, and if you are watching Passionaire, I want you to think about this. Just this is a short video, but there's one passion since Michaela's father died. I think suddenly, and I think this is probably when she was younger. That's why this impact is huge. You can see that, and she has an overextended passion that she couldn't live without it. Almost one moment, like especially the husband role, right? The potential daddy's role in her life. She couldn't live. So this is overextended passion. Like she needed every moment. Without that, there's no good feeling, no emotional stability, vulnerable, and she just emotional. You can see she just throw things down to the ground, and she just step out, right? She couldn't control. Which passion? Yeah. Coach Joyce said, it's hard to pick just one passion. All right, unmute yourself. Give me a couple of options. Go ahead, Coach Joyce. she's pondering. I know this is hard to analyze. There's one passion I think is overextended to a point. She needed like all the time to feel secure. Which one? Coach Henry, go ahead.
I had her pegged for high tranquility driven by fear. She's afraid of losing. I think she's afraid of losing somebody else. But I would also say she's sort of exhibiting a pattern that we've seen a lot with the high tranquility and high acceptance especially during the COVID lockdowns.
Yeah, it's a good choice. All right. No, so I don't see so many of me there. The tranquility is like she needs to have a very, almost like a peacemaking environment, right? I mean, but yes, it's absolutely part of that. I think it's probably there, but before this get triggered, there's one more that's so crucial. It's become her almost a how should I call it? It's must have. That one get interrupted. She doesn't feel she can enjoy any moment. All right, Coach Joyce.
I want to say order. To me, one of the many passions, right? One of them I would say order, because she can't control the situation when she realizes he's not there. And I would say order. I would say acceptance.
Order, acceptance. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, this is our practice. I wish they could have done PQ. Then we'll have a data in our hand. But now we can take again. Okay, acceptance. All right. Okay. Acceptance. Pretty cool. All right. Yeah. Anybody else? Let's just put some of them there. All right, so those three could be. Acceptance means she's sensitive. She feel rejection when it doesn't even need a word to express. Like the absence of somebody's promise or presence could really cause something. Yeah, it's yeah. I think you guys all hit. I think she got all this. They're kind of. Yeah, but to me, this is a very typical, which as a PQ coach or marriage coach or relationship coach, it happens all the time. You'll be shocked. I think all of above, but there's one. That's a lot of people, when their passion, especially after they lost a loved one, or after they have experienced a disconnection with a group, say they move away from their hometown. I found a lot of military families, kids, they could go too extreme, so they have to move often to another place. So let me share with you what I think really is key to play. But let me show you. It could be all above, but I really think what's play here. Let me go there so that hopefully is interdependence. This passion is very interesting, and I found a lot of people. You'll be shocked how many of them, when they have encounter life experiences, especially like losing a father figure or mother figure early on, or traveling too much or move around too much, could be really on the integrated quadrant, which is people's quadrant. Could be socially suddenly disconnect from friend group, and it could happen when they kind of bullied, not partially bullied, not really physical bully, but just, and when that happen, they have a bump up need and passion for interdependence. And that become very obvious, very interesting. So or for example, another example is when they grew up in a marriage where the parents divorce, right? And they suddenly they replace a family or other passions, or the need to have a very healthy family. They will replace that need with very high demand on interdependence. That means they will continue to look for a team to be together. And this almost means they need somebody right next to them anytime, anywhere. You can find these high interdependence people in the school. Is like everything they do, they always, like a teacher said, let's start a project. The high interdependent people, the next moment already pass on, text message. Do you want to be my team? Do you want to work together? They already start looking for a team. Okay, so when they get married, they will feel like the whole family have to be together all the time, every moment, like every holiday. You will see them like, if we are not together in Thanksgiving or Christmas or Labor Day, it just feel like you don't love me anymore. Right? This one happened a lot, and I think this is probably, to me, may not be the highest passion she has, but I analyze it. The husband has a very high independence. Let me pull it out. Okay, so why I think it's become a first major fight is between these two, and it's a very classy. So the independent, which is opposite of interdependence, means in this case the husband, he needs room, he needs space, he needs to have not even privacy. He just need to have the freedom so he can step out without like telling you all the detail. So he's holding that. You can see, okay, and so I don't have enough evidence because I just watched this 5 minutes video clip, but I do believe this particular major fight started with she's panicking because she feel she's abandoned by a teammate. Not just a husband, not just a family, not just like obligation, not just order, not just like all of that above. But now what's triggering here, I see this all the time, is now her interdependence is overextended. Basically mean I need somebody all the time with me. Not just right next to me, be together. So they have to be in a almost like it's not like social. Social is you can be a stranger and she can step out, find a stranger. So now you can see she has to step out of the room because the room is empty. You see that? She couldn't stay there anymore. So it's not order. If she has lower interdependence, she probably could stay in the house, and still get this one going. So she has to go out somewhere. So because it's an empty room, that she feel abandoned again. Of course, now, but I can see the husband, back to the Michaela. So she says specifically, now you act so independently. So should I. You see that? She said that, okay? So, and then now, some of the people, when they have encountered trauma in life or distress or frustration, people tend to get driven on both, to push to extreme on both sides. Could be on both sides. She end up stay here. So it could be the mom, Michaela's mom now, because father passed away. The mom say, we should be a team together, we should, that could be that way. I don't know. Okay. But a portion of people, some people, when they encounter this type of trauma in life, they will develop highly independent passion that they always need their space. That's where they recoup and just to calm down and start to think. So this two, when it comes from two very opposite sides, this is a pretty classical case. I think when they started fighting, I analyze it, it could be all above you guys mentioned, like kicking, right? But I think between them two, when they talk, it's like this, okay? And so any questions so far? Any feedback on this? Let me look at the chat. So if you are passionaires, we are talking about the first fight, right? First fight. So this is a session we'll sit down. We're back to this point. We're back to the sit down. Like this is where conversation has to start. Let me go. Yeah, this one here. Before it escalated to be like, wow, you abandoned me, okay? Or did you come back? What time? Start to look at the cell phone. Did you come back? Are you a liar? All that, okay? And this is the moment where to sit down, okay, and see where the conversation can focus on this, okay? So I've seen a lot of people in family, especially husband-wife relationship. This is a tough one. If you marry a person with opposite passion on this one, it's really genuinely a very challenging thing to find togetherness, because I scored 2.0, highest ever independence, right? So I always need a space, okay? And I'm very lucky my wife is also highly independent. So we could have two independent, personality working together. But if I could marry somebody who is high interdependence, I will sometimes feel suffocating, okay? Because like, why do you need me all the time? Leave me alone, okay? So and this is very, very and almost a tough scenario when these two come together. So we will give you a couple of advice how to deal with this. But before so we have Coach Joy's question. Is there there's a recommended amount of healing a person need to go through before they get married? That's a very good question, Coach Joyce. If we have this pre-marriage time, so that's why dating is more than just dating. I think if we could date with a purpose, that's how we really think. If you are dating young people or dating all the folks out there for second marriage, or you are looking for dating, I strongly recommend, when I use the word strong, is really not try to talk you down or something, talk down on you. It's really out of experiences, hundreds of couple I coached, and I wish Michaela here could have been coached, counseled, and so this is father's sudden death, or like she feel abandoned. She used the word many times. She feel abandoned. She has to take it alone. You see that? So I hope that one could be talked about before marriage, right? And why? Because otherwise this kind of fight could really happen. And they were lucky to be recorded and they have a pastor sit down. If not, this will become almost a never-ending. They chase the tails each other, right? And it will come down to, you didn't do this, you did this wrong, you did this right. Did you come back 9:20 or 9:15, 9:17? They will start become like all the time. So back to Coach Joyce's comment on this one. I really feel when a person have a suppressed or overextended passion due to the past family or drama or trauma, I think it would be wise, or use the word wise, or it would be very beneficial to anyone to look at that particular passion and to unfold it. So we do have tools to help you, right? We call it fishbone, that look at your high and low of your life. So that kind of confirm how you really shape your current passion to be high interdependent. Okay, I coach many couple, a lot of wives. I would say, unfortunately, they will consider interdependence as an expression of love. Let me explain that. That means they always feel the whole family have to do things together to make her feel loved or worth it. So if not, for that wife, most of the time, a lot of time, the wife would feel panicking or start to really be emotional. But the root cause is not the family member not willing, but her demand on interdependence way higher than other family members. And other family members start feel suffocating because this mom need togetherness all the time, right? That happened. And there could be a man too. I'm just saying statistically, right? And some of the men are very highly independent out of some family, situation. So they say, I have to take care. I have to do what I got to do. Okay. Give me room. Let me take care of it. Let me be a man, right? Something like that. So that could be very independent emotionally. So that will sound very, or sometimes will make other family members feel that that person is very remote, disengaging, very emotionless, very cold. But no, it's actually the other way around. So we'll get back to some advices how we can work on both sides. All right. Will counseling be helpful? Yes, absolutely. In this case, if the overextended passion on both sides, I found very independent people sometimes have some kind of family wounds in the past, all right? So they just need a space, right? So that both sides could benefit from counseling. Talk about this childhood experience or this kind of traumatic experience. It definitely will help. So, but I hope that can connect with the passion. So, especially when you find out your spouse or your partner or in a team, these two numbers are, north and south, right? High and low. And when that happens, this one need to be talked about. All right, let's see other question. All right, it's a good question here. What is other partner's role in helping this spouse go through healing? Okay, yeah. So I think this guy, you can see when they start this conversation. Do you see that intentional distance between them? Do you see that? So do you know who wants to keep that distance? Can you see the body language? Who actually wants to keep the distance? Both.
I would say the girl. Well, both, but I mean, her body language looks more tense than his.
He's pretty tense too, if you look at it, and because this is interesting. This is how when you have this kind of thing, with interdependence, independence person, this is not going to work. This distance of talking never going to work. Okay, because nobody satisfied this. It's not far apart to be independent. It's not close enough to be interdependent. This one is like just to close enough to be dangerous, to be safe and dangerous. So this is like waiting to confront, which is not. It's actually not bad. So I think this is probably because they're waiting for the pastor for counseling or something. So that they have this kind of sitting. I think this is not. This is just like safe enough to be dangerous and dangerous enough to be safe. It's like so. And so in my case, I have my man's cave. My wife knows. Okay. So a lot of time when she wants to find out exactly how I felt, she let me stay in my man's cave for an afternoon, right? And then when I choose to walk out of that man's cave, she knows that's when she's going to open up a conversation. Okay. All right. Now, we both are highly independent, so I know her cave, okay, where her kitchen, for the kitchen is where she really feels. So when she's in the kitchen working, I know that's her space of like, okay. So we, for high independent partner, you have to figure out what make that person feel like they got their space they need, okay. It doesn't have to be a space. It could be just it could be a basement, it could be a garage, right? I don't know, Coach Henry's case, maybe your garage or when you are with your camera, right? So, in my case, it's my walking, is when I sitting on before the piano playing, or I'm biking. So that's my independence. So let them satisfy this. So if McKenna could have known this, her interpretation of Zach walking out may have a different narrative. You see, oh, my husband need about 2 hours of, independent time, right? So that instead of like he abandoned me, okay. So you see that two narratives are so different from different passion. From the same passion, you could have a very different narrative when you know the person across the aisle. So I hope Michaela's conversation could start with, hey, when you didn't leave a note or sticky note for me, you left, is that your independent space? Okay, if she could have started conversation like that would be very different. Okay, and that will help herself to manage that interdependence demanding to be there all the time. Okay, and give him a breathing room, for example. Okay, now Zach, the husband, how do you know how he started conversation? Are you okay? Right, I think his acceptance is probably low. She's not okay. You can tell. Okay, when you have a high interdependent wife sit across like 2 seats away from you, you know something's wrong. Okay, so I think he has to crank up his acceptance, sensitivity. But so the first question is like, are you okay? It seems so. How should I say? It seems so naive and caring, but that's really shows that he didn't know what he's done wrong. Okay.
The word you're looking for there is clueless.
Clueless, yeah, clueless. Like, are you okay? And see, like clueless. He's look at that. His body language. I'm clueless. I think he has enough of independent space. Look at that. He's trying, but she already blocked it. She just keep distance. I agree with you, Coach Joyce. She might be, but her body language. I block you, but I need you, because you abandoned me. You see that? It's kind of interesting, all right? So I hope this conversation could start differently, okay? Instead of just like, oh, you abandoned me, like, my dad abandoned me, right? And Zach is like, you are not reasonable. You also make your own decision. Why can I make my own decision? I need my room. I need my independent space. You see that conversation? And that's how it started. Okay. Yeah. So I want you to just look at this body language, this setting. But I don't blame them. They are waiting for a pastor to come. So this kind of okay. But so I'll give you a couple of advices if you really marry someone that on the opposite side of the aisle. Are you ready? Number one, for this Michaela here, right? The highly interdependent person. How you feel is always a time that you feel so comfortable when you are by a team, by somebody that you could do something together, right? Holiday, lunch, always like feeling somebody or a team right next to you, that make you feel loved. That make you feel accepted. So that's an overextended interdependence, right? So and you couldn't do it without so this one, it's a very good passion. That passion could be used to be the best team builder, right? Could be the best HR, human resource person to find the best people around you. So if you don't have a job to put you in the team, and you happen to be looking for your spouse or your children to be your team, that's almost a no place, all right? Because you almost have to draw a line so my suggestion for that is you cannot only have your husband, your wife, or your children, or your dog, or your cat to be your team, to be satisfying this one, okay? Because that proximity, that closeness is not going to work, because everybody, be honest with you, will need a space, including yourself. Please, the highly interdependent Mr. and Mrs. And you may think you don't need it, but you do. You do. I have found that all the time. That so-called, even their score, PQ score high here, you will find they actually need their space. All right. So we just have a newlywed couple before. The wife scored very high interdependence. And then she will wake up every morning just like try to satisfy what the husband wants. She feels so blessed to do it, But after she has been down doing that for about 6 weeks, she already sick and tired of every day. She wakes up to find like, how can I work with my husband today? What is his schedule? She's totally losing herself to a point throughout PQ coaching session. The solution is simple. Husband, help your wife to find one afternoon a week to be just herself. And then they start to figure out, because of COVID, they both work at home. They feel like 24 hours together. Even with a high interdependence person, say, enough is enough. I need my room. So they figure out one afternoon that the husband get out to office to work, leave the house all to the wife, so she can be herself. She doesn't have to care about husband's need, future dog's need, or children's need. Like, she can be just wondering what she needs, and she can just do nothing. Okay, and we'll see how that works. Okay, so the number one misconception is like, oh, I'm highly interdependent. So no, you actually also need your room. You have to figure out that. Otherwise, you will overuse your interdependence to a point it's never get satisfied. Because this passion could go high. You can almost like endless teamwork project. Okay, stuff like that. So I recommend that one. Now, for the highly independent, like me, I'm the highest in the world, so I'm talking to myself. You'll be shocked to know you actually would enjoy, after you have enough of your men's cave time, Coach K, you actually pretty enjoy teamwork. So I want you to know, hidden under the super independent manhood or whatever you call it, or super independent, like a super lady, or power girl type of stuff. I have good news for you. You'll be shocked. Actually, you could enjoy something to do totally the team stuff. And so I would recommend you to find something just intentional about it, like with your spouse, even your dog. Dogs is different. Okay. So people say this is dog people, right? Interdependence. Dog love to be love a company. This is more like cat people. Cat is the independent, right? So it's like dog and cat. I'm sorry. So I know. So if you are the independent personality, I would recommend you intentionally find your space. Yes. So, and communicate that space to the spouse. Say, like this husband, Zach, I think when he step out, I think he just need a space. I think he just got married, but he feel like, I need to be independent, right? But he didn't have a language to say what that is. I don't know. We can talk to him maybe separately, but early on in a relationship, establish a conversation, narrative, say, this is when I need my space. And that's my space, okay? Hey, my space used to be a thing, not anymore. I love it. So find your space, okay? And communicate that, okay? And like in my case, when I'm biking, I'm walking. So my wife and I, when we walk together, sometimes we don't talk for the whole hour. It's okay. We just walk together, enjoy the independence together. You see that? But the highly independent wife could say, Coach K, what did you say to me? Talk to me. Why didn't you talk to me for 45 minutes? You don't love me anymore. You see that? Because I feel like, so, and I want you to be able to communicate your space because it's your responsibility, dear independent human being out there, because nobody know your mind. Please communicate. That space is what you need. After that, I would say, well, really sweeten the pot is find something that you can cross the aisle, work in a team setting, biking together, walking together, so that I can build that togetherness together. All right. So I want both of you to give a little bit tips here. All right. So coaches, if you have any comments, any questions, please go ahead. We have a couple minutes left. Yeah. Coaches are all laughing. This is very, very typical. Yeah. Yes. No. Okay. So folks, I love this ending. It's beautiful. Okay, don't take me wrong. This is a beautiful ending. But that's unfortunately or fortunately, it is not enough. I think we have to come down to, hopefully with the passion language, to be able to know, oh wow, my first big fight, major fight, there's two other major conflicting passions. How can we talk and realize and internalize, and then find out a pattern that we can have another fight and second and third fight, so that these two, at least we start to figure out a pattern how we fight a good fight, that we can start at the very beginning to communicate. Michaela, I know, sorry, it's not, are you doing okay? Sorry, I know, my independence might have really pissed you off. Sorry, my bad. Next time I'll leave a note. Will that help you? Next time, should I text you where I am to make feel you are incorporated into my life? But I do need that space. See, that could be that communication, right? Michaela could come back differently and say, hey, you totally interrupt my trust in you on the interdependence side. I thought we are a team. I want to really, before pastors come to our house, I want to clean up the house together. Why you abandon me, right? Or I want to clean up the kitchen because, I want to, all that. I want to talk to you before we talk to the pastor. So I really feel we are the team. Why you just left me, right? Once you have that conversation, it's not just like the person is just bad, just like bad dad or abandoning, wife type of bad guy. One of the whole package need to kind of get fixed and talk about. So let's focus on that. So we call this a neutral language. All right. All right. So Coach Joyce is confused, but we can talk with the coach. So, hey, Passionaire, if you are watching this, I know you are faithful. I have a very low social, so for me to be on YouTube is a challenge. So thank you for supporting. We just almost surpassed 100 subscribers. Hey, that's a big achievement for me. And for all the YouTubers, God bless your soul. I don't know how to get there, but I want to do this so Passionaire community, you have something in your hand weekly, hopefully that you can really look at this and start to figure out, oh, what is my passion here? All right. And how can I, in my relationship, be fiercely me? I'm independent, I'm interdependent, but I can also live happily together with someone who is different, opposite to my passion. And hopefully that will be a way that we'll live a happy and effective life. This is Coach K. This is Passionaire Plus channel. If you love this or you like this, please subscribe so you will get this on weekly basis. You can turn on the notification so when it's on, it's live or it's premiere, you can watch. So I appreciate you. I really think this is something I enjoy doing. Hopefully every week we'll do something. Right now this season we are doing relations. Should be cool stuff. All right. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.